Hello everybody, my name is Will Wazinium Hunter and I'm with Graham Messioso Pitt, a Call of Duty 4 admin for this I-43 tournament in Telford. So Graham, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. I've had a long journey, picking up Miracle and Koa from the airport and then getting stuck on the M25 for about 2 hours. And then it took me about 5 hours to do a 2.5 hour journey, so other than that, good.
Yeah, you look a wee bit tired on it, so maybe that's what it was. So that's great. Before we talk about I-43, let's talk about the Androids LAN, which happened last weekend. As most of us know, you were an admin for this LAN. So how did the event go for you? I didn't hear many of complaints, which is quite funny for the Wizard LAN Centre. Normally there's a couple of holdbacks, but yeah. I'm quite impressed that everything seemed to run on time.
Yeah, no, we did it well. I mean, Declan Germain, he was the guy who sort of did the setup, did the whole organising of the event, and we'd done Sage LAN back in start of July, and I think we had identified quite a lot of problems that we had with the venue, and we solved them for this event. Like, one of the main problems was there were 10 PCs that were quite poor, like they didn't perform as well as the rest of them. So we got rid of those, used the 30 PCs that were good, and then just sort of ran the schedule around that, which made that there were no complaints about the computers. And the schedule we based around that as well, so we did very well actually. We actually started the final about 3 hours ahead of schedule, which meant we were all done about when the final was meant to start, so we were quite happy.
That's good, nearly beat me in BOA AF. So how important was this LAN for the Call of Duty 4 scene, especially with the Antwerp Esports Festival pulling out at the mid of July there?
I think it's been very good. I mean, we've had 3 events in the last month and a half, which has been Dublin, which was run by Kosh, another new event coming up, and then we've had 2 events run by Shaunza from Sage or Androids. So they've obviously come up with good replacements, because we're missing Tex and we're missing AAF as well, and then we've got the Grunex LAN next week, which is another new LAN that we haven't had. So I think things are going very well at the moment.
Yeah, definitely things seem to be picking up for the COD 4 scene very well at the moment. So we saw L3 managed to win the match against Infuse, with Infuse coming second. Did you predict this at the start of the event, or did you maybe see Infuse not getting to the final? A lot of people say they did have an easy group, or an easy bracket, that is. Do you think that influenced it, or do you think Infuse maybe could have gone through the harder bracket?
I certainly, they had an easy bracket, but I mean, you say it was easier in terms of the teams that were there, but Team Red by Italia, they won their group. They knocked out her, and I can't remember who the other team was. Who was the other team in that group? I can't remember who it was, but I mean, her were the third seed, and they knocked them out. So they must be good at least at some point. And then obviously the other side of the bracket was very hard, but that was only because WinFact came second in their group, because Phantasmagoria beat them. So the side of the bracket was harder, but it wasn't because Infused got it easy. If everything had gone to plan, they would have had a hard bracket. But they can only beat what's put in front of them. It's not their fault if they have weaker teams, or supposedly weaker teams, to play against. So they did well.
Yeah, definitely got to win every match as they come, as I'm sure a lot of players listening to this will know. Now on the I-43, before the tournament even starts, how do you feel about the new venue? Because I know that it's held in normally Newbury, and we had a brief encounter with Stoneleigh, but this is very, very similar to Stoneleigh, and personally I like it. What are your feelings on it?
I mean, it feels very Stoneleigh-esque. I mean, it's 2 big halls instead of 1 big hall. But the main problem with Stoneleigh was that it was in the middle of nowhere. Unless you had a car or you were willing to pay for a taxi, you could not get anything outside of the event. This place is, it's a 10-minute walk from the town centre. There's shops everywhere, and it feels like a much nicer place to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot easier to get to. Like, I just got off a train and just went straight there, So it's very, very simple. I know I've stayed a long time. The multiplay should maybe use more of a community-based figure for the Call of Duty admin, and they seem to be moving in the right direction, picking up yourself instead of the likes of Geostype, who've done a good job, and also Haribo. Do you know why they chose you as an admin? I know they normally pick the old people who stay in multiplayer of admin to other tournaments. Is there shed any light on that?
Well, yeah. Normally they've had Haribo did it originally. He's been promoted. He's worked his way up through the multiplayer system. Geosnipe's done the same again, and they needed a lead COD 4 admin, and they knew about Vita Nova, so they got in contact with Tomsky originally, and obviously he's playing with Infuse, so he couldn't do it. And obviously I've got a lot of experience in this area and at I-Series as well. I think this is my 16th I-Series, so I'm doing quite well on that. So Tom just said, if you want it, contact to damage, and I did that, and he said, yep, that's fine, you're doing it. So it was quite simple, really.
That's great. It's really, really good to see, and especially multiplayer as well. Looking towards that more of a community-based figure and actually working with external people as well. So a question before the tournament even starts again. When is the tournament going to start? Is it on Friday? Will the groups be done and dusted early? Because I know, like myself, I hate seeing like the likes of SAS 22nd Division playing on a Friday night, 11 o'clock. Whenever you want to go out or something.
The groups are due to start a lot earlier this event because multiplayer are trying to make a lot more use of the main stage, and they're trying to have group games and playoff games being played on the main stage. So the groups are starting at 1:30, and normally they don't start until about 6 o'clock. So they're trying to get the groups done. The groups should be done and dusted entirely on Friday. Depending on the group size, it could be finished by 9 o'clock. It could be up until 11. We're not sure yet. Could be up until 11. But as far as I'm aware, the system that I will have to use will be eight groups of 8 teams, and obviously we don't have a full 64 teams, so there'll be less games per group. So it should be finished hopefully about 9 o'clock.
Okay, that's not too bad. It's an improvement from last year. So I'm really impressed by this, turnout for this LAN. It seemed a lot bigger than most people expected, and with such a community behind the Call 4 scene at the minute, with the LAN scene for I-43, we don't really see much activity in Cybergamer and the online leagues online. Do you have any way of promoting this or advertising it to the teams who are here?
I haven't discussed that with multiplayer, if I'm allowed to advertise that. Obviously, we do have some information coming about Cybergamer in the next... Well, I think I should have done it today, so I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, the leagues and ladders for Cybergamer will be going into full motion in the next few weeks, certainly starting next week. We are hoping to push that really heavily and make that be the league site for COD 4, certainly not just in the UK but in the whole of Europe. As well as part of advertising here, I think most of the teams who are here will know of Tek-9, and Tek-9 know of Cybergamer, so hopefully the word should already be out there, but I'm not sure it's really my place to come to another event and advertise, other things. So
definitely, I think the Tek-9 Cybergamer should be really working together here to really push the leagues, which I'm sure we will do on our basis, which will be good. So the event itself, do you think TCM will walk this, or do you think Infuse may sneak a win against them? What way do you think this LAN will turn out?
Everyone thinks TCM will win, and I think that's justified, but this is their first LAN together. It's their first major event. I think they've come together, sort of put it together quite late, certainly. I don't think they might have prepared as well as they wanted to for it. I think they will win it, but only because Infused they haven't got Tiddy. They've got Mark. And I mean, Mark Horner's a good player, but he's also Mark Horner, and it's Mark.
Yeah, we all know Mark. Let's just leave it at that, okay? So, with the answer to that question, who do you think the top 3 will be, and who do you think the player to watch will be for the whole tournament?
I think the top 3 will be TCM, Infused, Link. I think Link will put it through with their mix of mercs and maybe a core team play. I think they've got it strong. I mean, other than that, you've got OTR. They could do quite well, and there's one other team. I can't remember who it is, but I think they've got some of the guys who won last time. The Blight, some of the you beat you lose. Yeah, some of the Blight guys. I think they'll do quite well as well. But I think Link will take it through experience with Lighters and Diablo taking the lead in that.
All right, and player to watch?
Black main.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Yeah, and so that's great. So as a COD 4 admin myself, along with Bo, we admined a while ago. We always got the first hand on new up and coming tournaments which are going to take place. Do you want to shed any light on any maybe new lands coming up? Because I just seen recently a post about Androids maybe being in December. Not sure if you heard anything about it, or...
I don't know about that one. I do know that there are certainly definite whispers about a Crossfire event very soon. Maybe not soon, 2012. There are definite whisperings about that. Other than that, everything's kind of secret, I guess. not that I know it, but I don't. I think AEF certainly for next year. I think Stephen will try and sort that out because he couldn't get it this year. I think he was quite disappointed about that. Tek-9 have just paid out, so Jens may be starting that up again for experience next year. So things are looking good certainly.
See, we may get another outpost on fire as well. Stephen normally hosts ones around, the first quarter of the year, around April time. So that's great. Thanks a lot for your time, Graham. Do you have any more shout-outs to anyone? Apart from me?
I suppose I've got to do right, I'll just do this for a second. These guys are all my friends from school. There's 9 of us here, so I'll give them all a shout out. I'm not going to do them individually. They're also not paying attention, which is quite nice. Other than that, anyone I've ever played with, pretty much, and all the guys who come to this event to fill it up and make it one of the biggest I-Series since I think I-34. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
All right, that's great. Well, let's hope we see for an exciting event. And that's great. And especially you guys in Tek-9, make sure you keep looking at Facebook and keep up to date with all the interviews and going-ons on the I-43 Call of Duty 4 tournament. So again, thank you very much, and we'll have another interview very shortly.